Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here this week and for being encouraging one another, and certainly all the work that you do in your ministries, on your campuses, and the many places where you serve. We are so thankful for the time that you invest in the lives of young adults, as well as all those people that support them on campus as you, again, proclaim the word and as you serve God's people in many and various ways through your ministry. As Kurt said, as you probably know, in some flux with campus ministry within the Office of National Mission. Also bring you greetings from Michael Meyer, who is the managing director for, we kind of divided Office of National Mission into 3 areas. Youth ministry is one that is looking for ways to really be a conduit and connecting with districts and congregations around their ministry, including that is campus ministry. So we are doing a lot on the youth ministry side that Julianna will be able to talk about some of the administration and things around campus ministry. So we're the ones with access to the campus ministry email, keeping tabs on that. One of the things that gives us great joy is to be able to get emails from young people or parents or pastors who say, how do I connect my senior to one of these LCMS-U chapters, and be able to see them taking a proactive approach to their faith as they go through that sojourning, that transformative time from high school into campus ministry. And so one of the things that we're trying to do on our end in supporting the work of Office of National Mission with campus ministries is to help and really listen to what we can do to help network groups. As you can imagine, we've got this conference happening here. Campus Ministry, LCMS Campus Ministry is hosting one next week. And when we look at those who are attending both of these events, many of them are, again, rostered church workers, whether they're pastors, DCEs, and still a lot of LCMS-U chapters are not that. And so they got lay people who care for college students who are looking for, again, the resources that you all have in your experience around what's the first step I take to get on a campus? How do I find those Lutheran students? How do I connect with them? And so that's a lot of resourcing we're trying to do, and how do we network well for maybe some of those people who are just taking the step into campus ministry or don't have the ministry experience. And so how can we equip them to do their job well in that way as they live out their love for college students and also as they see their high school students go into campus ministry. The other piece too that certainly we want to have here, and I know one of the major reasons we want to listen well and connect, is how do we make that bridge better between congregational high school ministry and our campus ministries. And certainly one of the things that we want to be doing well, we try to bring it up in our conversations with parents and with pastors and DCEs and those working with young people, is how do we help them when they're making those decisions about college and they're looking at the scholarships and they're looking at the degrees that the campus offers, they're looking at the location, how do we make sure up that top of that list is what is the spiritual environment for that student, and where can they connect with an LCMS-U chapter, an LCMS congregation, a campus ministry where they can be fed and connected in Christian community, that they know they have a place where they belong and connect to. So we're always looking for better ways. We're so thankful for all the work, Kurt and others that were part of Brad at the gathering this last summer of connecting with people who were there. And so really raising the bar and raising the awareness of LCMS-U chapters, but also the importance of campus ministry. And so we're going to continue to be looking at ways technologically, just hold us accountable in youth ministry. When you don't see stuff like that being said by us or part of it, we need to be reminded of that. Like, how are we lifting up campus ministry so that, again, churches are talking about that, praying about that, lifting that up in front of their young people, that just as you're picking your majors, as you're picking all those things, is more important than all of that is where's that next place where you're going to be hearing God's word, being receiving the sacrament, and be encouraged in your faith. And so we really want to be working on that as we've really tried to talk that up with congregations and parents. Let's not forget that. And we love to see, again, that fruit of happening of parents who are reaching out to us or who do lift that up, whether that means congregations who really take that initiative and help kids maybe go through a college visit and be thinking about those things, connecting to their LCMS-U chapter. I know a lot of districts do a great job of lifting up their campus ministries at either a senior high youth event or whatever it might be and making those connections. But then we need to be doing that too for congregations, to be lifting that up. That should just be an extra connection to help them as they're sojourning on, that again, we continue to care for the young kids that we have baptized, that we've confirmed, that we've walked together in the faith. How do we help them make that next connection? So those are some of kind of the big picture things I know in youth ministry that we're helping with. In campus ministry, again, really want to listen well on how we can network those that are, again, working in campus ministry focus time, but then also we'll always be thinking of how can we network and support those who maybe are those lay people or one who have maybe many hats that they're wearing and are looking for useful resources to help them, encourage them in their work that they're doing. So thank you for all. I know many of you that have already provided those for us as we continue to get up those and posted, but just anything that we can do along the way, grab us separately, but I know it'll be part of our discussion while we're here too. But most of all, just thank you for all the work that you are doing and providing a place for young adults and for our LCMS young people to connect, get to begin being met by Jesus and get to know Christian community being supported as they walk together in their faith and get supported for another huge transition in their life too as they go and start careers after their time at college. So again, blessings on this next few hours.
Yeah.
Person.
I'm going to share just some logistical, administrative things that that I think might be helpful for you guys. So the first one is that back in December, we finally were able to put through kind of a new form to fill out to become an LCMS-U chapter. Very, very similar to the past form, but with a couple of great perks. So we redid it with a couple of things in mind. One was in the previous form, there wasn't super clear what information was public and which was private. So we clarified that. And then we went ahead and worked with our IT department to make it so that when you register an LCMS-U chapter, you then have a link to go in and update your chapter information whenever you need to, right? One of the things we found with our previous list and our listing of LCMS-U chapters is you would register an LCMS-U chapter, and if a pastor took a call or you started working with a secondary school, it was really difficult for people to get their information updated. And so one of the things you can do now is when you register, you get a link, or we can send you a link for you to be able to manage that on your own without having to work through our office to be able to do that. But in order to make that work, we actually kind of had to clean the slate, right? So we needed everybody to re-register. So if this is the first thing you're hearing about it, you may need to re-register your chapter, right? To make sure that you have all your information out and that you are findable on the website for young people who are looking for LCMS-U chapters. So I want to encourage you to check the listing. If you're not on it, please register. If you know other people who are suddenly like, I don't know what happened, my LCMS-U chapter disappeared off the listing. That's what happened, right? Register now. And we know that we lost some chapters in there that we're going to try and keep putting that in front of people to remind you to get registered in those chapters. Or you know somebody who maybe just has never registered as an LCMS-U chapter and is interested in doing so, please let us know. We want to make sure that list is as accurate as possible, because what that allows us to do then is to continuously point back to that as a place for people to look for chapters. Now, we redid that information, that listing. It looks a little different. The interface is a little different on the website. So we would love your feedback. If in that change up, something went sideways in the way that you guys use that technically, please let us know so that we can we're still kind of figuring our way through that. It is also our hope that kind of twice a year, we will send out an Excel sheet listing of all the chapters to every chapter leader. That way you guys have that on your own. You don't have to keep going to the website for that. I am in charge of LCMS-U social media. And so I would like to encourage you, if you have something your chapter is doing or something that you would like highlighted on LCMS-U social media, please get in touch. You can either message it to the LCMS-U, Facebook or Instagram sites. Right now, we're having trouble getting into our Twitter. So right now, it's just Facebook and Instagram. Or you can email me and say, like, hey, here's a picture and here's what we did. Can you highlight it? We'd love to be able to do more of that. I would love to be able to put more pictures that aren't stock photos onto our social media of your young people and the things that our chapters are doing. And we'll hopefully do another big push through the summer to encourage people to check out LCMS-U chapters. So again, I would love to be able to partner with you. Hopefully, if you registered at LCMS-U chapter, I should be following all of the Instagrams now and all of the Facebooks so that I can kind of see that. So I will try and do the same in looking towards helping you guys get that information out. A couple of things for resources. So we have a resource website, youthesource.com, that now has a whole separate page that just has ministry for young adults and particularly for campus ministries. And we have some funds to be able to kind of add to that and make it a little more robust. So a couple of things we'd be looking for. If you have Bible studies that you have written out that you would like to share and make accessible, we have a process that we go through in terms of doctrinal review for those things. But if you have some Bible studies for college students that you feel like that's really helpful to share, please reach out. I would love to make those available. We have a pastor, Michael, who is down in Georgia, who wrote two 10-part studies already that are fantastic, that he designed for his students that we were able to put up on the site. So we really like that. We also would love to have some more articles just about how to get into campus ministry or aspects of campus ministry. Again, if you are interested in writing, I would love to talk to you more about that. Or if you have any students who you think are burgeoning writers, journalists, people who might want to write in the future and would like a professional byline, which we can provide for them. This is a great place for them to be able to do that, so we'd love to talk to them as well. So Bible studies and articles, great ways for us. And if there are other resources that you would like to see being made available on the site, resources that you use that you would like to share, please let me know. I would love to be able to work and get more depth and breadth to the resources available there for campus ministries. And then I have 3 minutes left, and I only have one thing left, so I think we're good. And that is, we want to let you know that disaster response is going to be looking to partner with some campus ministries for some spring break servant event trips. So if you are looking for a spring break servant event trip, we would love to connect you with Michael Meyer, who also works with disaster response, to see if there's maybe some partnership there that you can make with them in order to do some domestic disaster response servant event trips available to your group. So just in the beginnings of that, not a ton of information, but I can get you connected to him in order to kind of see if that's a possibility. Also know that LCMS servant events also has some servant events that are available. Courtney's going to talk more about some other international servant events that are possible, so please let us know if that's something that your campus ministry would like to do. We have 2 minutes and 20 seconds if we want to take questions. If they have a leader that we can point to, if they have a location, something that we can point people to go and connect with them, right? So if it's just like we're in the imagining stages, probably not yet. But if we can point them to a website, to something to be able to say like, okay, this is where I get started, or a leader that they can get started with an email. Then absolutely they can start an LCMS-U chapter. Yeah.
Kind of a chapter that has a little bit more sense to it, organization to it.
So our next big thing that we need to look at data-wise is that, so when you're filling out your congregational profile, you can click that you do campus ministry, and that list is like 1,000 plus congregations, where we're only at just over 100 chapters now, LCMS-U chapters. So one thing that we do want to go back to those kind of other congregations and say, hey, here's your next level you could take is LCMS-U chapter to get encouraged, or we want to somehow make that data available so at least that we're referencing it when someone reaches out to us and says, I can't find a chapter in the area where my kid's going. Do you have any suggestions? We're usually just going to LCMS-U locator and saying, here's 3 churches in the area. Maybe check them out, check out their websites. But if we could even get a more focused point on some locations that maybe where there's not a chapter, that's kind of where the next level we want to take, because we do have a wealth of more congregations that at least have commented that they have campus ministry as an area.
And that is visible on the locator.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
So
if I'm
more work, but
you have to be able to know how to find it. And so teaching high school youth to be able to go to the site, and it's complicated, but I mean, like, you should be able to find it by making it more available there.